Okay, guys, round 3, and we're on the play. So we will. Well, we won the die roll, so we'll be on the play. Francesco, what do you think?
Yeah, this is a keeper. This is good.
Okay, what land do we need to lead with here?
All right, we're gonna start off with. We don't need to turn 1 anything. We're just gonna go with Polluted Delta and pass.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, like the last thing in the world we want to do would be like Polluted Delta fetch into Water Grave Thoughtseize, and then it be burn, which it looks like it might be.
Come on, Goblin Guy.
Well, he didn't cast one. Okay, so what land are we getting here? I didn't ask. I just fetched.
Okay, so we have right now a Flooded Strand, which can give us any source. We got black, another black, and a blue. I say right now we want to go with a black source. So we could Thoughtseize if we wanted. So let's go with a Godless Shrine.
Well, as gross it is to Thoughtseize, one way to think of it is that it gains. If we were able to Thoughtseize away a lightning bolt, that lightning bolt now does 2 instead of 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So do we want to Thoughteize?
We don't know what we're playing with yet, and it doesn't look like he's going to do much interaction with our hand, so I'd actually not do that yet.
Okay.
And see what we're playing with.
Play land, say go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wait, is this the same guy? Did we just Smoking 137? Did we join? I don't want to play this guy again.
But you know what? Maybe it'll help us again with this matchup. We'll see.
Well, it's got to be the same guy. It's another Ash Zealot. I mean, we're just taking this.
Yeah.
Fetching for.
We're gonna go for a Hallowed Fountain right now.
Oh shit! Oh my god! I misclicked.
No.
That's something. Oh, well, we got a blue source. Not punished.
Yeah, that's good.
That's something that only happens on Magic Online. Like it can't happen in real life. Like I yawned, and when I yawned, my mouse just went up that 1 millimeter, and then clicked Godless Shrine.
That's funny.
Pass.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything right now.
Having Geist is good. We do want to maybe get a clock established at some point.
We're going this turn. We're going to dismember that. So
I'm a fan of dismembering that. I'm also a fan of yawning apparently and misclicking. Yeah. At least I didn't misclick just now and be cast and lose 4 life. At least I didn't do that.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm actually I'll be honest with you. I have a bitter taste in my mouth after that matchup, so I like this.
This thing's annoying.
Yeah, we have Esper Charms, to be honest with you. I don't want to take the 5. We had no life gain, so let him draw cards. It's fine. I think we're in a pretty good position with what we have in our hand.
I could be wrong, but this could be wrong, but my gut tells me get Geist into play.
You're right. No, I was just gonna say, that's not wasting any time. Let's play hard here.
Because it's sort of like a race. If we just sit back on Negate and Esper Charms, I think he's just gonna kill us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he may just kill us. We're at 16 and he's burned and he has 8 cards in hand.
That's fine.
Question is, do we block it?
No, let him swing in. I mean, he's got 2 mana up only. I would just let him, because then next turn we can just. How much is he coming in for though?
A lot. Would go to 7. We go to 7, and he still has a Swift Spear. We can Esper Charm him, but he still has a Swift Spear.
Okay. Well, we don't want to. I don't know if blocking right now. I mean, how big is that? His
we go to what? 4? We'd go to 7. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if we block it, it just buys us a little time. But
and he just wasted all those just for a Geist, basically.
I mean, the upside is if we. This is where I guess you have to know the deck. But if we don't block, and he attacks to 7, and then we draw a path. then that's good.
I'm gonna go with my gut here and say that we take the damage.
Okay. Ouch. Crackback, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we still don't have a way to kill the Monstrous Whisper, so we want to attack.
It sucks right now because we didn't get the extra land drop. Because I was gonna say we could have gone with a Tidehollow and then hold up for Negate, but you know what?
We could still Tidehollow and.
I was gonna say let's go with Tidehollow right now.
So still attack and then Tidehollow, right?
Yeah.
All right. Man, I'm sorry that we're only playing against this deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I don't know how relevant this is going to be in Charlotte, but we'll see.
I would expect a lot of burn. I think one of the reasons there will be lots of burn is primarily just because it's like, all right, it's bolting us. It's a deck that a lot of people are going to play. It's a I don't call it entry level, but it's one of the less expensive decks to play, and it's one of the easiest to get into.
Yeah, and also because Tron just won, and look at that hand. Okay,
we're dead.
I think we're dead.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that because he's just going to untap, and then he can Searing Blaze. Well, he doesn't have a land, but Shard Volley and Skullcrack just kills us. So, I guess if we could. If we take Shard Volley, then Searing Blaze. I guess we have to take either Skullcrack or Shard Volley and hope to live. I think we take Shard Volley because it doesn't actually kill Tidehollow Sculler.
Yeah.
Searing Blaze only kills us. We're only dead if he draws a land. We're dead. Actually, no, that's not right because he can attack. We are dead because he's going to attack with Swift Spear and we have to block, and then he gets the burn spell back, and then we're dead.
Yeah.
So we're just dead.
Yeah, we're dead here.
Unless I'm missing something.
No, we're dead. We can't do anything. And maybe attacking. Well, no, I don't know. I was going to say we only took 3 more. I think we would have still lost.
All right, let's see.
We're gonna go with this. We're gonna actually go with a very similar plan as before. Just bringing all our life gain sources in first.
Probably the counter magic as well.
Yeah, and Negate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. We don't need the Supreme Bird in this matchup because he's not really swarming the board too much stuff.
Yeah, it's a little slow.
Yeah, and then the Esper Charms we don't need.
I mean, let's see. The Esper Charms are at least usable in that, like, if we make him discard 2 burn spells, that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep 1 or 2 like we had the first time. That wasn't bad. The Jace, we agreed that wasn't that great in this matchup, so we can put the Jace out.
Gideon's like mega slow, but does keep it. Like, if he's gonna kill us with creatures, it might save us.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad call. Actually, that's.
But it's that same thing I was saying, like with Batterskull and stuff. Like it's so late.
Especially if he's gonna start bringing, if he's gonna start bringing in land hate like he did the first time.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. Yeah, so maybe we don't want to do that. I think we just cut two Esper Charms.
That's really it. Yeah, I mean we need the Elspeth and the Sorin. That's the clock with the Geist, and we can also gain pretty good life with lower Sorin tokens and Elspeth tokens. But let's just see what happens. I mean, we had a bad opener.
Gosh, all these one-landers.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's so weird. I'm not sure if this has something to do with the program or.
No, I mean, if anything, it's actually more realistic because when you shuffle by hand, you end up making clumps and various other things because you're a human. But this is true randomization. I think we got a mulligan this. Well, yeah, I mean, we do have 2 paths, but. I mean, I don't really want the same thing to happen to us that happened the last time.
No, we're not going to go to the same thing. Yeah.
This is better.
Yeah, we'll keep this one.
I guess one thing we could do is we could go Polluted Delta, Hallowed Fountain at his end step, and then with the other Polluted Delta, if we went to, we could get a black source to Inquisition, or we could get a black source to Inquisition now. Yeah. I'll let you make the call.
No, we're gonna go to. We know what we're playing with Matt right now, so we're gonna actually go with Polluted Delta, and we want to go into a Tidehollow Sculler. So let's pop it, and we're gonna go with a. We actually have no choice. No, actually, we do have a choice here. We don't want to take too much life in case. No, he only has 4 cards. Okay, let's go to Godless. That's fine. We'll go to 17. I actually don't mind that. Okay. Because then we can actually just take the next burn spell with Tidehollow.
Or we're probably taking Browbeat.
Yeah, exactly. So.
I won't be surprised if he kept Browbeat. Like a hand with Browbeat in it. Mm-hmm. He did. I think that's one we're taking.
Did. Yeah, the problem is here though, is we can Tidehollow Sculler the Browbeat.
Yeah, but then if he gets it back, then we're kind of in the same stupid position where he's able to refill on burn spells, or we take 5.
Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine.
I think we just he's not going to really be able to. Let me make sure we're not missing any cards here.
Actually, no, he won't kill our Tidehollow Sculler with the Lava Spike.
No, but what I mean is, like, he could easily draw into a Searing Blaze and then kill it, and then he gets Browbeat back, and then he's able to recast Browbeat, and then we have to decide if we want to take 5. I feel like Browbeat's actually
the one we want to take.
That's what my gut says.
Yeah.
Like, I've always heard that Browbeat's a terrible card, but at least in this matchup, it seems to be really annoying. It was Lava Spike, and well, now we just know that he has.
Actually, this is where
we know he has lands.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah. All right, so that's reasonable. Play the Polluted Delta, and are we Tidehollow Scullering, or are we passing?
I think we can actually pass this one out. We're going to try to take as least life as we can right now.
Yeah, just agree with you completely. Plus, we probably would have used Polluted Delta to get, like, a blue online. Hallowed Fountain, right?
We're going to go with the Hallowed. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we had a third land. Start closing this game out.
I mean, but we're actually, yeah.
This?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so he's going to take. We gotta see which one's the worst card here. I
think we take Searing Blaze.
Yeah, Searing Blaze, because we don't want to take.
Well, the thing is too, like, if he only has 2. I mean, he can get it back by. I'm pretty sure Searing Blaze, because if he gets a land drop, then Searing Blaze will kill it and us. Mm-hmm. Like, he sort of gets to cast 2 spells. He gets to cast a bolt targeting Tidehollow Sculler and a bolt targeting our face.
Yeah, no, that the Searing Blaze I think is a better.
Yeah.
We just need 1 land, honestly.
This guy's a jerk. Do we take the 2 and then just path it, or do we block? I don't know.
No, I think we should take the 2. We don't want to give him back FN right now, so let's just take 2. There we go. Okay, so here's what I would do right now. He's got 1 card in his hand, and we know it's that
Shard Volley.
So let's Snapcaster Inquisition.
That's what I was gonna say. And then we can just block the. Well, no, we can't block as first strike. We could still block just to save the damage, I guess.
Yeah, Snapcaster's not really that important. We can kill it. It's not a big deal. we actually, with one more land, we've got some strong value plays coming up.
Oh, God. When's the last time you played around Ash Zealot?
Great, wonderful. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Me neither.
We're full of misplays today.
It gets hard, and then also like when you're doing it with two people, I think it makes it a little bit more difficult as well.
And like 11:30 my time.
Yeah, that was really gross. I'm kind of upset about that one. I guess
but you know what? He's top decking now, and we have 2 creatures.
Attack here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're in that bad of a position, honestly.
I mean, it would have been better to obviously just let him cast, I think, because then he would have still. Well, that's annoying.
No, we'll take the 2 from the Goblin and then block. Oh, actually, no. You know what? Let's block the Goblin and kill it, because then we can Snapcaster it and we can path the.
Yeah, well.
So let's trade with Goblin.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say for sure. Geist, path this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, Geist. I hope you're fast enough to get us out of this mess. Somebody's going to be screaming in the comments about how we Inquisitioned and took the extra 3 damage from the Ash Zealot trigger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Without doubt.
Oh, we didn't attack. We're going to path it into turn. I should have known. I mean, I technically played... I played Standard when Ash Zealot was around.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. I didn't even think about it. All right, so... Attack.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. At end of turn, actually, I wouldn't even resto the Tidehollow yet. Wait till he attacks. Tries to kill the Tidehollow, and then resto it. And then we use that on that too.
Is it when it dies or leaves the battlefield? It leaves the battlefield. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But with the trigger on the stack, you can just take it back. And this is what Geist does here. He's like a finisher. He's not really like the one you're trying to... you could race with him, but he's also... His role here is a finisher too.
So what do we do? We resto in response?
Is he going to bolt?
Yeah. See the little red arrows? He's targeting the Tidehollow Sculler.
Okay, yeah, so that's what we do. So we resto now, the Tidehollow. There we go. He wastes the bolt. Awesome. Cool.
Concession. One thing I'm thinking, and I just had this thought, I almost would rather this be a Rest for the Weary, only because, there's a lot of spells here, and, Sphinx's Rev is a slow way to gain life. Sorin's kind of a slow way to gain life. We
need early quick ones. I agree.
Yeah, so I almost feel like because the deck is kind of it's got a good number of 3 and 4 drops, just having more cheap things to do is pretty good.
It gets us to the point where we could drop the 4 drops and take over. We need to get there. So I agree. I like rest here. I think rest is the life gain spell for this deck.
We're not making any changes to this configuration, right?
No, everything looks good.
There is the Hero's Downfall we talked about bringing in last time. Forgot about that.
I would bring it in, yeah. You know what? I actually would probably drop 1 more Esper Charm.
Okay. Now, I know that a lot of people have said how good Esper Charm is in the good matchup, in the burn matchup for the discard mode, so I don't know if we're doing this incorrectly. But it is also slow at doing that.
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
A lot of people talk about how good Esper Charm is in the burn matchup. I don't know that it's actually good. I think it's a bit slow.
I like that you've been keeping it as... sometimes I keep it as a 2-of, just to dig, if I have the opportunity to. 1 to dig and 1 to discard. But I like that you have just a 1-of. I think that's good enough.
This seems really... I won't say it seems really good, but it seems okay, because we can Flooded Strand for a Plains to path an early creature. Then we can play Darkslick Shores to have up Negate, and then after that we can play another Darkslick Shores to have Geist.
It's actually a very good hand.
It doesn't have any hate, but I'm sure he's going to Goblin Guide us because that's what the deck does. Okay, no Goblin Guide.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I'm going to play this in case we want to get us Plains.
Yeah.
Suspended Rift Bolt.
Yeah.
So now I guess...
1 second, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Alright. Sorry about that.
We haven't seen any Blood Moons or anything, so I think it's safe to probably just go ahead and get a Hallowed Fountain then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like what you were saying too. I think this is I guess it's a budget burn, but...
Alright, I'm going to play the Darkslick Shores, and then we have Negate up.
Yeah, you should see... Oh, you probably could see. My eyes are glowing right now. That is a powerful hand that we have going right now.
We could even negate this Rift Bolt.
Let's do it. Honestly, we're going to try to hold out and really pressure him not to do much, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, we want to trade this counter magic for burn spells, and that's exactly what this is doing, so...
And we have 4 mana, so we can actually... We have enough to even negate again if we really wanted to with Snap. So...
Alright, let's land Geist.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, and just so the viewers know too, when you're not on the Tidehollow Sculler and Meddling Mage plan, this deck plays like just traditional, Snapcaster, Geist, Clique, Resto deck, and it can be that too.
Oh, this is interesting. So he has no way to make this bigger.
No. We also want to get in for the attack. So here's what I would do in a situation. I actually would path it, clear it.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Like,
he has only 1 land. Yeah.
Well, but what I'm almost wondering is if we just attack, like if we attack and he blocks, then he's down a card and we're not down any cards, and we still get to hold our path up. If he doesn't block. And see if we path 2 that gives him a land, and I don't know if we want to do that right now.
No. Let's say if he blocks because we have options then after the second main. So,
like, we can if he doesn't block, we can always path at his upkeep, and then he doesn't get to make use of that land.
Yeah.
So I think we just play the Hallowed Fountain tapped and hold up this path.
Yeah. Yeah, Geist is excellent in the burn matchup. I like him here a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, he helps shut the game down quickly, and like I said, they can't actually... Actually, the one splashing black can technically kill him now, because some decks, I think, are starting to splash. There's some... I'm going to go and path here. Actually, I'm gonna... I don't think it really matters, but I'm gonna go to blocks and let him have priority. He didn't do anything, so we're pathing.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh, there's a new black spell. I forget what it's called. It's like, it's part of a cycle. It says like opponent or player sacrifices a white or green permanent, or white or blue.
Yeah. Something
like that. So they can, a white or blue creature, I think is what it says. So they can make you sacrifice Core Firewalker or Geist of St. Traft.
Yeah. Oh, great. We don't have any white mana for this, huh?
No, we do. Just, but he cast it at a second main phase because who knows why.
Well, again, people think when they're playing this, and we have no mana leaks, but players will think that we're holding up for mana leak or whatever.
I'm just gonna path and attack this time.
Yeah, good.
Now we are giving him a bunch of lands, and he has 4 cards in hand. So a lot of times I like to multiply by 3. So if he had 4 bolts, then he has 12 damage. So.
Yeah, I don't think he can kill us this turn, honestly. And personally, I don't know if I would have passed that right now.
But we want to, but we want to attack. We want to attack with Geist because we have to close the game down.
I'm sorry, that was a 2/2, right?
Yeah, and it has first strike.
Yeah, so but that's fine. I'm mistaken.
Molten Rain.
So.
Well, we're not
Okay, so we don't have any black spells in the grave right now for Snap, and we only need 1 black for Sorin. So I would just sack the Darkslick and keep up the.
Well, no, he's blowing it up.
Okay. So he gets to choose. Okay.
Well, here's what I was gonna say. He's got 1 mana up. So what we could potentially, he hasn't used it yet. So one thing we could do is Snapcast. We could float a white, and then Snapcaster Mage target path to Exile. That way, if he wants to play a creature, then we can get rid of it. And if he doesn't, and he doesn't have a way to kill Snapcaster Mage, then we actually have lethal on the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now if he blows up Snap, then he blows up Snap, and maybe it's not that good.
Yeah.
I guess we can just. We don't even have to do that. We'll just float the white, and then see what he does. So now if he plays a creature, then we can snap path. So he's not going to do anything. I'm still really tempted to play the Snapcaster Mage into turn and just try to shut the game down. And I like that as well, because let's say he does kill Snapcaster Mage so he doesn't die. That's just 1 more burn spell in his hand not going to our face.
Exactly. And I don't think he's got enough to do lethal, to be honest with you. I don't know what he could possibly have. I don't think it's lethal.
So are you okay with that line?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. All right, well then, now he's just dead. He bolted us with his 1 mana up, and we're going to Snapcaster Mage and attack with the team. And he's dead.
There we go.
Geist! Never get tired of casting this guy.
That's it, we did it. Awesome.
All right, so we're 1 and 2.
And I'm going to stick to my guns here. I think that, it is in hindsight, it is past us, but I do feel that that burn matchup, we could have, if we didn't get that 1 lander, we would have had a better shot.
Yeah, and then maybe against the Boggles matchup, maybe if we had taken Spellskite, let's say we took Spellskite with Tidehollow Sculler, like you initially said, and I probably should have listened to you because you have more experience with this deck and with the Tidehollow Scullers than I do. But let's say we had done that. Let's say he played out his whatever that creature is. Let's say we pathed it. He drew much. One thing to consider is he was going to draw into those cards at some point eventually, but he would have done so a lot more slowly. So actually, he may not have, because if we pathed and he drew, he's going to shuffle his whole library, so the whole game could have been different.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's blowing my mind right now is that we played 3 matches against aggressive decks, and we're not really exploiting really what this deck can do in the mid to late game. And it is promising to me that, for other players too, going into this knowing that, even against aggressive decks, you do have a plan here. And you can establish it through some board presence, and Tidehollow Scullers and Meddling Mages, as you saw, we haven't taken them out because they do work.
Now this is the daily event meta, which by the way, for you guys watching, we wanted to do a daily event, but there were some time limitations, and Francesco wasn't available tomorrow, so we had to kind of do what we had to do it today, but that meant we were kind of restricted to 2-mans. I was actually also open to playing an 8-man, even though there's single elimination, but I wasn't sure that we'd have time for that either. So anyway, what I was pointing out here is Burn on Magic Online is the 3rd most popular deck. So something
Absolutely.
to consider.
No, definitely. And a lot of the comments I'm getting on this deck is, how do you handle Burn? How do you handle Burn with no life gain main? And it's like what we just displayed here is that when you apply pressure with the 2/2s, when you can snap in or play Geist, you're applying pressure in a different way, where they're forced to either use their burn spells on our creatures, or even having the main deck negate is a pretty strong play against the burn spells.
And actually, being able to go Darkslick Shores, Darkslick Shores into turn 1 Inquisition is like gaining life. It's like counter target bolt it's you don't gain 3 life, but it's more it's like it is essentially gaining 3 life. Like they cast the bolt, they never got to cast it, so they never got to deal that damage to you. So it doesn't have life gain, but you are able to sometimes trade your spells for theirs at no life loss.
Another key element too I want to point out is that all these matches we've taken out Thoughtseize because obviously we don't want to take the life. But what's neat is that even when you take out the Thoughtseize, we have 3 Scullers that essentially act as our pseudo Thoughtseize. So we're still active with the hand. We're still looking at their hand and ripping burn spells. In that one game, we had the Searing Blaze underneath the Tidehollow Sculler, and we took one to the face, but it was a couple turns that he couldn't use that Searing Blaze, and that's definitely relevant against burn.
That is definitely the best spell to take because, like, let's say you take a bolt, and then when I get that bolt back, so they bolt Tidehollow Sculler. Well, now you've actually traded 3 points of life. You kind of saved 3 life points again because they're trading a burn spell for one of your creatures, which is fine. The only spell that it's really bad against is if they do Searing Blaze you, because then they kill it and you take 3 life, and that's annoying.
No, definitely.
So I have 24 minutes before I have to be somewhere, so it might be kind of pushing it. I wouldn't mind trying to play one more, but I guess my only concern is if we were to I'm just kind of want to see who's in that queue. I wonder if it's that same guy. No, somebody else. The only thing is if we were to jump into a match against like Abzan and it takes like 45 minutes, then I'll end up like being late for my appointment and my wife will kill me because I desperately need a haircut. So I don't think I have time to do a 4th round right now. But I am down. If you're down, I am down to do this again. We can play the deck again. If you have time, we can play it through maybe something more like a daily event where if we win our first game, then maybe we get out of the bracket. Granted, I was going to say out of the burn bracket, but a bunch of daily events that I've played in, I've actually played them in the 4th round, the burn matchup. So, but maybe there's a chance we can play some more varied stuff and less like of the suboptimal burn lists. So you just see more of the tier lists, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if I guess if you have some availability, I'll shoot you a message or whatever, and we can talk about scheduling something.
Yeah, I would definitely do this again, and I think that we got to see the deck in action against burn. I mean, in the second round, we took it to game 3. We made a misplay by keeping a 1 lander, which is usually not something you do, even with good spells. It's just not something that you do. And
I mean, sometimes you can talk yourself into it, kind of like we did, where it was like, well, I got the path if he's got the guide, and then he never played a guide, and the path is kind of a dead spell, and then we didn't draw it.
Exactly.
And then he Molten Rained it, our one precious little land. That was real gross.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I know I'm pleased because it was a loss because of that. I mean, this is not a tournament setting or anything like that, and it's good play testing for this deck. Like you said, Burn is the 3rd most relevant deck here online, and I feel that the deck can hold its own. It's not particularly a great matchup, but I feel that it's definitely winnable, and it's all about the sideboarding plan, and this deck does have one for the matchup. So,
the more I think about it too, like you could actually run 2 core Firewalkers. And you could.
I was thinking about that, but well, actually, you know what? We can actually use the Sorin, the Ojutai's Command, and the Sphinx Rev for matches like Jund and Junk. For the life gain, just for the extra bit of life gain if you really need it, or the aggressive matchup. And then particularly just for the red matchups, like you said, you probably could just get away with the core Firewalker. The only problem I have with core is that they still get burn spells in. So you do gain 1 life, but for every 1 that you gain, you may lose 2, you may lose 3, depending on whatever.
Yeah, but it's really difficult for them to kill you if they're only shocking you instead of lightning bolting you. Their efficiency is just way down. I mean, 7 times 3, if they can cast 7 burn spells, they're going to kill you. 7 times 2 is 14. You're alive at that point. And then if all of their burn spells are only doing 2, they have to cast they have to somehow they have to, instead of casting 7 spells, they have to cast like 10. That's pretty significant.
The only problem I have with the core, in my opinion, is that when you run into the red-white burn lists and they have an answer for the core, and that was your life source. And
how do they answer it? I don't think they run Path.
I mean, it depends on what kind of list you're up against. I mean, if you're running against like a red-white, what do you call those decks? It's not red-white burn. It's with the Boros Charm and all that. You know, if they run, I think they do run Path actually.
They may. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's one thing that they do have to get rid of the core fire.
I kind of want to take a look.
One of the reasons to go red-white, but I mean, I do like it with a Dice command actually. I mean, if it does die, you can.
Well, but if they are pathing it, it's going to be exiled. You won't be able to get it back. I just like how it's I like how it's a repeated life gain, and because you also have the ability to be a mid-range deck and clock them, it just gives you so much more time to kill them. Plus, it blocks all of their creatures, and it itself is part of a clock, so it does have a little bit of crossover. I brought it in against Grixis Delver in the past because Grixis Delver tries to be a burn deck, and it makes a lot of their stuff more inefficient, and they also can't terminate it, and they can't bolt it, and then all the terminates and bolts they do cast just gain you a little bit of incremental life. So
yeah, I mean, you gotta look at the other aggressive matchups too, though. I mean, we have burn, right, but there's also affinity, and then core is pretty much nothing in that matchup. And I'm not sure if Dice command and
but you're not going to cast Rest for the Weary against affinity. Like typically they're hitting for so much. Oh,
and at Timely's, so I can.
Yeah, but a lot of their stuff flies.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess if you just want to blow them out, you want to clear that board and just win.
The Zealous Persecution is pretty good against Affinity.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I need to get going. Francesco, thank you so much for taking the time to come play some Magic with us. I had a lot of fun. I'd like to do this again. I still think the deck. I do think the deck is sweet. We didn't get to see like what it can do kind of in the matchups that it's really designed to beat, like the abs and mid-range matchups. So, we'll see maybe we can get.
And it's particularly good against most of the combo decks out right now. Like it actually was designed initially. One of the things I forgot to mention in the intro is it was designed actually to beat Twin. And it does an excellent job against Twin. But it does have matchups against Bloom ad nauseum, those kind of decks where they have a linear plan. The deck does an excellent job at nullifying it. And then against the more non-linear decks, it does have the ability to grind. That's through the Planeswalkers and the versatile spells.
Well, I'm gonna throw this out there right now. If any of you guys watching have Twin or Abzan or Jund, and you want to maybe run some games against me and Francesco piloting this list, just send me an email, nathan@greatnate.com, hit me up on Magic Online @greatnate, or send me a tweet on Twitter, and maybe we can get something lined up and we can make some videos with you, and it'll be a lot of fun. So
awesome.
Yeah, so that being said, guys, I think we're going to get out of here. Francesco, thank you again. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for your support. I hope you draw well and smash face. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.